What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Contractor Growth Network. Today is all about how do you actually get clients to buy on your own terms. It's one of those mysteries of, people want to buy, but it takes them so long to do it. So today we're going to talk all about how do you get them to do it when you want them to do it. Stay tuned, check it out, and this will hopefully be an awesome one. Hey everyone, I'm Logan.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Contractor Growth Network. And today we're talking all about how do you get people to buy and prospects to buy on your own terms. And we're doing that all using what everybody hates, but it's actually unbelievably effective, promotional offers.
We're talking about what is a promotional offer, why it's necessary, and how to use it for step one of the sale.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just talk about why there's so much negativity around promotional offers. It's what I've always heard, and I think it's everybody's mindset is that people who want a deal or people who want to get something for free or at a discount, they're cheap. They're just cheap people, and I don't deal with cheap people. Alex, let me ask you this. Of all the sales calls that I go on, and somebody's, let's say, a remodeler, and I say, what type of remodeling do you do? Or who's your target audience? What percentage of people do you think say, oh, I'm a high-end remodeler?
I'd probably say 95%.
It's 100.
Yeah.
I literally, everybody says, oh, I do high-end stuff.
Yeah.
So they just assume that high-end people don't want a deal. However, what percentage of people do you think, when offered a deal, would say, no, I don't want to take that deal. I'll pay more money? Zero.
Yeah.
Literally everybody likes a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unbelievable that people just get mad about, oh, well, so-and-so try to barter with me and this and that. And it's just that's just how the world works. People love deals.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk all today about the deals, the aspects behind it, and how you can do it without going into the red, because the last thing that you want to do is offer, here's a free kitchen, great, but then you're out of business.
And you paid for the kitchen.
And then you paid for the entire kitchen.
Yeah.
So starting off, here's kind of where this all stems from is it's getting into the holiday season right now. When we're recording this, it's end of October, and it starts to kind of become slow for a lot of people, especially after the holidays, because you're sitting around, the family is just hanging out. It's January, February. They're stuck at home because if you're in the Northeast, Northwest, or in the North, anywhere, it's cold, so you're not going out and about. So you're not going on vacations and stuff. So if you're a remodeler, it's probably tougher to get into people's homes during that time because they're there.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get into people's homes during that time, Alex?
Promotional offers.
Promotional offers. So let me run you through one that I thought was fascinating. We might have talked about this before, but I want to reiterate because I still see them using it, which means it's probably still effective. So if I go on to, I'm trying to get a new car, just something, my current car, the tires continue to leak. So instead of just getting new tires, I'm just saying, screw it, let me just start over.
Mm-hmm.
So I go on Hyundai's website, Hyundai.com. And I'm looking at their cars. I'm like, okay, great. Something cool. It's affordable. Good with that. And then when I go back on Facebook, I see an ad. And the ad shows me, hey, come test drive a Hyundai. And we'll give you $50 towards Amazon or a $50 Visa gift card.
Wow.
Super cool, right?
That's pretty cool, yeah.
So what they're doing is they are incentivizing me not to buy the car. They're not saying, hey, Logan, if you buy this car, we'll give it to you for $2,000 off. They just want me to come test drive it.
Mm-hmm.
They're incentivizing step one of their sales process, which is the test drive.
Yeah. It gives off the sense of desperation, but it's actually they just want you in the door because they're confident in what their product.
It's the values created after the experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's sacrificing on the front end to make up all the money on the back end.
Well, considering what Hyundai is probably $20,000 to $30,000 car, was $50 at the end of the day.
20 to 30,000, and what's 50? And let's just say I don't move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first off, unless I'm serious about going and test driving a car, is it worth 2 hours of my time to go test drive a car, tell somebody no, which is always awkward for me as a consumer, just to make $50?
Yeah.
I mean, I could literally do that just by cold calling a bunch of contractors right now and getting told, and feeling the same awkwardness of the no.
Yeah, but you didn't get $50.
Yeah, I don't get $50 of that. So it's not worth it to people unless I'm already interested in Hyundai, which I showed I was because I went on their website, and Hyundai knows that because they track it, and they follow back up with me. They don't put it out to all the masses and say, hey, anybody out there, come, we'll give you $50. They're saying those that naturally came to our website, we'll give them this promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really smart the way they do it. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll just talk about what is a promotional offer. So that's like my little backstory about why this stuff works, because it really got me thinking. And, you know, do you think I'm going to go get $50 when I go test drive the car before I buy it? Yeah.
It's a weird like theory, because it's like, I'm going to go test drive a car, spend probably the biggest purchase I'll make all year, definitely the biggest purchase you'll probably make all year, but I'm going to get $50 if, you know, just by going to check it out.
Testing
It's
it out.
a wild theory, but it
Mm-hmm.
must work, because why would they do it?
And who doesn't love Amazon?
Yeah.
I mean, it's straight up. So
Yeah.
what is a promo? A promo is going to be any sort of reason or some sort of discount or added bonus of something that incentivizes somebody to take action. And in this case, Hyundai's incentivizing you to take action to just come test drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what a promotional offer is. It's something like, some of the rules around promotional offers are going to be, it has to be high value. It should be time bound, meaning if you say, hey, whenever you want to get your kitchen remodeled, we'll give you 10% off. And they're like, okay, great. Well, if this offer is always on the table, what's the incentive to do it now?
Mm-hmm.
There is none.
Yeah. I know. You remember Sleepy's, the mattress store,
Yeah.
growing up?
Yep.
So there's a huge running joke between me and my father how Sleepy's always had a one-day sale.
Uh-huh.
And it was like their thing was they had discount mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
But after like 4 weeks of seeing Sleepy's one-day sale only, you'd realize, well, they have a one-day sale every day, so it's
Right.
just the regular price.
Yep.
And eventually Sleepy's sold to Mattress Firm. So it's like, oh, were they in trouble the entire time?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like promotional offers, you know, some companies can be like, oh, yeah, we'll give you 20% off here. They always got deals going on. But if it's the same promotional offer over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
it could seem desperate at times.
It loses its luster, especially
Yeah.
if the same people see it over and over.
Mhm.
It's kind of like those companies that it's like, oh, everything must go is like the name of their store. It's like the liquidation store, and it's like, well, you're always on sale. Why would I buy this today?
Yeah, exactly. It's also like the Columbus Day. You know, the Columbus Day is a big car sales now. Like, you know, you're gonna get good deals off car sales. So that's like a
Right.
day you look forward to. But it's not always the same deal. You know what I mean?
And that's smart. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's how you change it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because you should always have some sort of promotion going on, you know, to new people, or at least like do it a good amount of times. But like, if you always run the exact same one, and you just keep changing the name of it, like, oh, our summer sale is now our fall sale, and it's like, okay, well, I can't wait for the winter sale.
Yeah.
So just to continue to change up with cars, where it could be what's a car sales, like money off?
Yeah, it's like zero down. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Zero down, money off, 0% financing.
Yeah.
Upgraded packages, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it just continues to shift around. So when the deal that goes, oh wow, I really want zero money down, you'll hop on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like Black Friday. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the one shopping day I could do a year, just because it's like I know there's gonna be sales.
Yeah.
But the sales have changed dramatically from 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just different.
Exactly. So let's talk about, now that we know what an offer is just as a whole, let's talk about why it's necessary. So what was the last big purchase you made, Alex?
Last big purchase I've made, probably my laptop
Okay.
last year.
Let's talk about that laptop. So what made you want to buy that laptop, or what was like the reasoning of like, okay, let me go get this laptop right now?
Just wanted to switch from a PC to a MacBook.
What was wrong with your PC though?
Nothing. It was a little slower, but I thought MacBook was more compatible to all my other devices. So
Okay. Interesting. So it was more compatible. What do you mean by more compatible?
just because, you know, I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, so
Sure.
if I want to transfer stuff like media, I'm a video guy, so there you go, from like different devices, my laptop would be easily acceptable. I would have to like email it to my PC or whatever.
So it was a pain in the butt for you because you had to like, you couldn't just like swap from one to the other and like airdrop it and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then with the time that you did it, I mean, like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back that said, screw it, I'm going to go buy a Mac now?
It was, I just graduated college and I decided to start off my adult life
Sure.
with like a purchase but the biggest purchase I could make,
Sure.
you know, besides, you know, a vehicle payment or whatever. And so I was like, you know, we'll go get something that could help my future possibly, and a laptop.
So there was, in your life, there was like a life-altering event, and that's what made you get this laptop.
Yes.
Was there an offer on that laptop, or was it just straight up?
I was looking for offers,
Yeah,
but no,
nothing?
there was not.
Okay. So I'm glad that we went down that scenario, because that wasn't rehearsed, and I didn't know if you were going to go for like, oh yeah, actually there was an offer or not. But what you just showed was that there was some life life-changing event in your world that made you get that laptop.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't have a life-changing event, would you have just gone out and bought a laptop?
No. Well, I had the same laptop 4 years of college.
Right.
And I refused to get a new one because I was a college kid. But as soon as I graduated, I wasn't a college kid anymore. So I decided to treat myself.
Exactly. So with that, that means that for your clients, if you're, contractors out there, for your clients, unless there's some like groundbreaking thing in their life, they're not going to change. They're not just all of a sudden going to wake up and go, you know what? I've had the same day in and day out all the time. Let me just go out and get a new kitchen. Let me go out and get a new patio or an outdoor kitchen. Like there needs to be something that's like big in their life, like some sort of like the straw that broke the camel's back for them to want to call you up, or you have an offer, you have a special, you have a deal going on that now you're not forcing them, but you're encouraging them to buy on your own terms.
Yeah.
So in your case, if it would have been a year earlier, if Mac would have had some awesome deal saying, hey, Alex, you're going to graduate in a year, then instead of waiting a year, why don't you get a laptop now? We'll knock half off. You're probably a little more likely to get it earlier, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And you're buying on their terms, not your terms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how all this stuff goes, is you've either got the option out there to, build a relationship with people, go, be a good person, do all the right stuff, but then at the end of the day, whenever they're ready and they decide it's time to buy from you, they'll do it, or you incentivize them now and then you get them to buy right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only way to do it, is just either they do it on their own terms or you do something special enough that's valuable enough to them that gets them to buy right now.
Yeah, especially with big purchases too.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just going to go to Walmart and get 3 for $5. It's,
Yeah.
You got to put some thought into it. So an offer, it would really help like get that thought, a little higher up the buy-in.
Yeah, like it has, and we'll talk about that with, like what a good offer is and stuff like that. But it really does needs to move them, because people hate change.
Yeah.
Nobody likes change. Nobody likes to switch things up. And the worst kind of change is one where you're going to hire somebody to come into your house where your kids are and let them pretty much have full reign of your home for a few weeks. And like I've followed people. There was one woman on Facebook, I was following her. Every week she would post an update of her bathroom that some contractor was out there doing it. And I'm guessing it probably wasn't the most high-end person, but I think the company, it ended up taking twice as long. It was like a 4-week project, took 2 months to do.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it happens.
Yeah.
And that's like the stigma around it. So there's now even more of a reason to not hire a contractor. So like all the lines or all the stars have to be aligned for a homeowner to call up somebody and go, you know what, I want you to come in, and for $40,000 that I'll pay you, impede on my space, intrude on my family, for the end goal of having a new kitchen. But I'm going to be really uncomfortable for four straight weeks because you're going to be in here, and I'm going to be half of my annual salary lighter.
Yeah.
So think about that. You're paying somebody,
It's to be a nuisance to your entire life.
For a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that is a struggle in a lot of people's minds. So what's easier? Do nothing about it and feel a little bit of pain by walking in your kitchen and being like, ugh, this is frustrating, or spend a lot of money and have somebody intrude. It's
I also think homeowners with like new kitchen, new bathroom, I'll get it next year. Like they keep putting it off. Like, oh no, not this year. We have this going on.
Right.
This. So yeah, it's the same principle. How it's just like that.
Yeah. So you got to get them off their butt, and it's got to be big enough to do it. So when we talk about this, let's talk about step one of the offer. And here's what we mean by this: is a lot of people, and we used to do all the time, is we incentivize you buying from us right now. Meaning, hey Alex, you want this new kitchen? I'll give you $5,000 off if you go with it right now. But in reality, I'm pretty much saying, online, hey, the only way that you're going to end up calling me is if you really want to move forward with the kitchen. But if you can incentivize just the phone call, hey Alex, you give me a call and we'll talk about your kitchen, and in return, I'll give you a coupon to use, or I will, give you like a brochure or a guide of all the different fixtures that we would suggest you put in your home or something. So instead of incentivizing the overall you have to buy right now, you're just incentivizing the phone call.
Yeah.
Which is the exact same way that Hyundai is not incentivizing You buying the car with an ad, they're incentivizing you just come in.
Yeah. Which is wild because, you know, yeah, it works.
It works.
Yeah.
So then it's up to the contractor or the salesman to make the sale. Hey, oh, I'm so glad you called. Like, let's talk about it. And even if the person's saying, you know what, I'm going to be honest, I'm not ready for this thing yet. I just wanted to, get your free guide or collect your free coupon of 10% off whenever I'm ready to move forward. Well, the salesman's not going to go, oh, okay, great, have a good day. They're going to go, okay, no problem. Let's talk about, what's your timeline looking like? Interesting. Okay, I got, then they're going to sell them. And maybe they're not going to close on that day, but it's going to start that conversation very heavily. So when it comes time to actually, moving forward on the project, the salesman or whoever, that person called is going to be the one that they go to.
Yeah. I think an interesting angle is, we go back to Hyundai for a second, how they're literally making you leave your house to go do this test drive. But a contractor, this is all over the phone at first.
At first, yeah. Well, most contractors don't do the whole like pre-qualification over the phone. They go, oh yeah, like I'll come out and do an estimate.
Yeah.
But even still, like, it's hard enough just to get people to like call up like a remodeler and say, hey, I want you to come out and do this for me.
Yeah.
So we're just like, you got to start at step one. So before you try to sell the whole thing, like we had and sometimes what people will do is like, hey, and here's like a really bad promotional offer that some people would say is like, hey, if you move forward with a kitchen, then we'll give you 10% off any future work. Which means not only do you have to buy a kitchen at full price from us, you now have to buy extra stuff from us just to get a measly discount. So that's an even worse offer that I see all the time.
Yeah.
That's more of like hey, you got to pay full price. It's like, hey man, come in and buy this car from me, and then after you buy the car, I give you 10% off oil changes.
Yeah. So you have to go back to this.
Dude, like thank God I get to save 10% of an oil change, which is going to be $5 off.
Yeah.
But I have to spend $25,000 first.
Especially if they had a bad experience with you the first time.
Yeah.
And then you have that offer in the back of your head. We're like, oh, I have to go back there because I want to redeem this offer, but I don't want to do it.
And
it's twice as bad. Yeah.
They're not going to do it. And the thing with remodeling, landscaping, all this stuff, those are all, unless somebody invites you into their home to remodel the entire home, you go in and you remodel their kitchen. Well, guess what? They've got 3.5 other bathrooms and a master suite that they're already thinking about. And they're building a good, they're trusting. Like that's like with Jamie, like up in the Hamptons, he sold a job and it started off as a kitchen, and then it moved from a kitchen to a kitchen and 2 bathrooms, and then I think they refinished the basement and did the deck. It started off as like one project, and it turned into like remodeling like a good bit of their home.
Damn.
And but that's how most of them are.
Yeah, I know in the Hamptons too. Like it all to be like the same aesthetics too.
Yeah.
Like each remodeler's got their own little craft that they do. So I mean, Jamie will have this. It's like fluent throughout the entire house. It's
and that's the
smart.
same with Victor when we went down to Atlanta to visit him.
Yeah.
It was the same deal. Hey, they just wanted me to put new floors down, and it turned into new floors, redoing the attic, and new stairwell. So it just, hey, I'm here. And he does that with windows as well. He was like, I'll go out there and repair like 3 or 4 windows, and I end up just doing the other 18.
Did that stem from an offer, or was that just quality?
I think it was just quality work. I mean,
Yeah.
just because they're there. I mean, because like you think about like the obstacle of like hiring somebody. Well, somebody's already here. You got an option. Either you can, have the person who's already in your home that's doing a good job just knock it out while they're here, or you can let them leave and then call somebody else and risk it with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like that's like talk about the fear of unknown.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. Would you recommend, that kind of thing where they came in for a kitchen, customers satisfied, now they want their bathroom done? Would you recommend giving them a deal for doing you the second time and having running that kind of like an offer for a second time user?
What I would say is if you're already there in the home, if they ask for it, I mean, 100% if they ask for it,
Like
then,
a deal.
Yeah, they say, hey, look, you're already here. Could I, I'm thinking about doing this bathroom. Could you give me a couple bucks off? And then you figure that out. Like, does it make sense for you? But a lot of times the objection is not like once you're already in the home and somebody wants this to get done. The objection is not to, I want to save more money. It's really, you're already here.
Now
I
it's
trust
pleasure.
you. Yeah, it's like it's the same reason that I got a C or a B minus or something like that in biology first semester of college, and then I just signed up for the same teacher because I knew what I was going to get, and I got a worse grade the second semester, but I knew.
Yeah.
So same with this, where if you give them a promotional offer off the first one, and they come in, you come in and you do a kitchen for half price, we're not half. That's pretty excessive.
Yeah.
But if you give them like a pretty good like deal in the first one, you
They
know,
don't expect it.
yeah, and then you're already there, and if they go, hey, look, like, could you do my bathroom, for like really cheap, and you're like, I wish I could, I just, I can't. I'm here though, I could do it for normal price.
Yeah.
This is just for like the one time thing, and they're like, oh, okay, great, you're already here, just do it.
Mm.
So, and I know that's how my dad grew his pool business. It's so funny because he is so against promotional offers these
Really?
days. Oh my God, he's like, they're cheap, they're Walmart shoppers, they're this and that. But if you listen to the story of how he grew his company, he would go up and find. So for pool management, he would, manage all like the different properties pools.
Yeah.
He would go find the property managers at these trade shows and find them at the bar and say, hey, look, give me one pool. I'll do it for pretty cheap, just to show you I can do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next year, they would give him all the pools at a normal price.
Yeah.
So he's so against it, but history shows he took his business. I think I think he was like 14 or 15 million. I think was like where he ended up having it. But it all started with going in, doing one job for cheap, and getting the rest of them.
Damn.
Now it's because my dad offered that first.
Yeah.
You have clients that come in and say, oh, I'm a GC, or oh, I'm a real estate agent. If you do this first one for cheap, I have so many more for you. And because the client is the one that said, oh, I want a big deal, it's a different ball game. But because you're the one offering it, you're incentivizing them. So does that make sense, the
Yeah.
spin where it's you offering versus them asking?
So yeah, it's almost it makes sense to me. Like I don't want to say reverse, but you're almost reverse engineering the whole thing, where it's like the first time off, yeah.
Yeah, and
then,
you're setting the stage versus them saying, hey, it's who has the upper hand.
Yeah, instead of like a buy one get one 50% off, it's the 50% off up front, basically.
Yeah, well, it's I guess the way to explain it is like, it's just who sets the tone, because generally the clients who say, oh, just do this one for cheap, I have a lot more for you, they never come back with anything more.
Yeah.
They never, or they ask, okay, I want the second one for cheap too. But if you lead with it, then you're the one setting the stage, you're the one with the control and the power, you're the one that shows the value. So that's how this stuff is really done, is if you lead with it,
Yeah.
then it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to then, when you're already there and the obstacles are low, for them to then move forward.
So yeah, when you have control, it's a lot easier.
It's a control
So you
thing.
want it, not the client.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is everything, basically.
Yeah,
so.
100%. And you have the upper hand. So let's talk about what makes a good offer and what makes a bad offer. So let's talk about some of these offers. So first off, an offer needs to be something that's not going to bankrupt you. In our world, in the marketing world, we'll say, for example, let's just say we do all this advertising and we end up selling a website to somebody at cost, like between everything, between the advertising, the overhead, the this, the that, and we do the website for cheap, and we just barely make break even on it. Well, that's okay if we then end up selling like an ongoing marketing package. So it's the same reason why these razor companies would give away a free razor where they lose money, but then you have to buy the blades from them for the rest of your life. So they're giving a bit away at the beginning, but then they make it up on the back end.
Yeah.
So it's this, for you as a contractor, the goal is not for have you lose all this money and then just be one and done. So that's why this works really well with remodeling. This has got to work really, it works really well with like landscaping, because especially if you do like landscape maintenance, you go, yeah, I mean, like it's exactly what we do, where it's like we will go in, and do something that gets you excited, but then you have to rely on us to come back over and over and over.
Yeah.
So is it worth, like in my dad's company, Pond Stuff, like there's so many people that move into new homes that have these crappy, cesspools in their yard. And I'm like, Dad, you just go out there for cheap, because you know that literally half the people that hire you to clean their pond once then end up hiring you for years and years and years, and they end up renovating it anyway. So what you're doing is, they don't, let's say, you charge them $1,000 and they don't want, oh, no way, I don't want to spend $1,000. I've never had a pond before. I don't know how great this is. I'm like, Dad, just do it at cost plus a little bit more with like a quote unquote burden fee. So if it's going to cost you $500, do it for $600, and then test it. See, do this for 10 people at $600 each. 10 people that say no to the 1,000, and see out of those 10 people how many of them now see the value in having a clean pond and end up inviting you back out to their house 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And end up upgrading throughout the process, because they're like upselling machines.
That builds trust too.
It builds trust. So that's the whole goal of this, guys, is not to have you go in, give away half of a kitchen for free, and then never see them again. The goal is to have you go in, give them something of value that's valuable enough to them to invite you over, and then while you're in the home, you upsell, and you end up making this worth it.
Yeah, that's very true. It's like when I got my house renovated, the same, he wasn't really supposed to be the GC, but he turned into the GC because he just, oh, you're here, just, you guys do it, so he turned the whole he basically was, renovating the whole house.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. So good offers and stuff like this, it could be if you want to incentivize the first bit. Incentivize the first bit is the first call. It could be some sort of, hey, give us a call, and we'll do if you're a painter, like a free color consultation. Right? We just had a couple cool paint trend guides that we created for a couple painting clients. So for them, it'd be like, hey, give us a call, talk about your project, and we'll send you over a nice, color trends guide to make sure that you're staying up to date.
Yeah.
So we're trying to incentivize the first call. Same thing with, remodeling. It could be like, hey, if you, give us a call or schedule a call right now, and in the meantime, we'll send you, an entire guide to remodeling your bathroom or whatever it is that you want. Or it could be, here's all here's 5 things that nobody knows about remodeling their bathroom that they wish they would have known before they started the project. Mm-hmm. Something that is valuable enough to people to go, you know what, okay, I'd like to get this incentive. But it's not just random people.
No.
Like some random person is not going to call you up and go, hey, man, I'm not really interested in remodeling my bathroom, but I just want to know what the tips were.
I have a studio apartment. But
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanted to...
I was just bored.
I'm curious.
Yeah, and if it does happen, it's going to be 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, which is that's almost a big mental hurdle to go over too. It's like you have to understand these are the people that actually are interested.
Yeah.
So it will be valuable to them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nobody likes to get sold to. Mm-hmm. So it's only going to be those that are actually interested in this, but you have to incentivize them to make that first move.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the next move, which is how do you get them to actually close on the deal? So you're on the phone with them, and they're like, "Oh, I don't really know. It seems like a lot of money." You then do something where you incentivize the deal from there. And yes, you could do this on the internet before, but if you're like, "Hey, look, what if I throw something in right now? What do you say?" And it could be, there's different ways to actually have a promotional offer. It could be money off, could be payment plan. Mm-hmm. Could be added services. Hey, you come out and you have us do your kitchen, remodel your kitchen. I'll repaint, your front door or something that just because everybody likes their front door painted. Why don't you make the exterior of your home look as beautiful as your interior? Just something that just kind of gets them oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So with that, you're gonna get paid $40,000 for a new kitchen, and then you're gonna end up paying one of your guys an extra $40 to paint.
Yeah.
Is that worth?
No, he's right there. Why don't you just do it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's super cheap. It's just something that it gets your foot in the door, or it gives you way more leverage over somebody to go, you know what, you're right, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it.
And it's from the homeowner standpoint, it's such a hassle. The first guy, not that it's a hassle, but you already went through this whole process having the first contractor come in. Mm-hmm. So now you're going to you go through again to get somebody else just to paint it. No, it's just, it makes more sense is you got to create that experience for them. So it makes sense for them to just say, no, you do it.
Yep. And then when you're in there, you just upsell.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. When I went out to Billy G and I talked to him about that, I was like, how do I deal? I was like, a lot of contractors are just so afraid that they're going to because here's the deal. Every small business thinks short term. They don't think, oh, let me incentivize on the front end so I can make it up over the next 10 years. Everybody, including us, everybody's so worried about their bottom line that they're on they're stepping over dollars to save nickels is the right way to say it. So everybody's so afraid of I can't give any money off. I can't do this and that. Even though they know when they get in the house they can sell, they're just so afraid to lose a little bit of money up front that they're unwilling to do it. So I asked him, I was like, Billy Jean, how do I deal with that? And he goes, what I do is I sell them or I show them, I serve them. This is what it was. I serve them a bit of humble pie. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I would show them other offers online because that's what happens. When you go on Angie's List and stuff like that, people have offers all day long. And he was like, I would show them what their competitors are doing. And I'm like, that makes sense because you got one contractor who we did their website, we did their branding, we're doing their everything. It looks amazing. Then you got another person that doesn't have a website. They don't have this, but they're 1/3 of the price.
Yeah.
Who are you going to go with?
You're gonna try that 1/3 of the price.
Yeah, because what's the worst that happens? Because one guy is going to be $300, the other guy's $900. You know, what's the worst that the $300 could be? But if that $900 guy goes, look, you know what, I'll do the first one half price, but then you get in there and you end up upselling the rest of the house. You lose $450, but you make $9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that worth
Make
it?
it back on the back end.
Make it back on the, and that's the thing is, we're not saying do this over and over and over and continue to lose money. We're saying do this and test it.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what makes sense for you, because if you do 10 times where you lose $450 and not a single person, you don't sell anything else, then either A, you don't know how to upsell, which you got to learn how to do, or B, it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you shift. You try something else that's not going to hurt your bottom line as much.
Yeah.
But all we're saying is try this stuff, because you think Hyundai is going to be doling out $50 a pop if not a single person has ended up buying a car because of this promotional offer? No.
That's the thing. You'll know almost immediately if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt. It does not hurt to try.
It doesn't hurt to try, and we do this like right now. We got hey, get a website from us, and you get 3 free months of SEO, which is right now it's $3,300 worth of free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, we know the value of that, so it's it's big. It doesn't cost us an arm and a leg, but it's a value thing. So for you guys, if you are a remodeler, you can do upgrades. Let's say, for example, you want to upgrade their countertops in their kitchen. It's only going to cost you maybe, let's say $500 to upgrade that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that you would end up selling this. So if somebody said, okay, instead of, countertop A, I wanted to upgrade it, you'd be like, okay, great. That's $2,000. You can say, hey, look, I'll upgrade this, which is worth $2,000 for free,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only costing you $500.
Yeah.
So that's the way that you position it, is that, for the SEO stuff, it costs us, it probably costs us, between time and all this stuff, maybe $500, $600, $700 for 3 months worth of stuff. But to a contractor, it's actually $3,300 worth of stuff, and the value is just that's huge.
Those old commercials or infomercials, you buy a shop vac, it's a $69.99 value, but you get it for $19.95 today. Is that kind of something where you could do with them, contractors, to be listen, all this, I'll throw in this, that's a $200 value, absolutely free.
Yeah, it's that's what we did with we had a really good campaign with MOG where it was bathroom remodeling, and we just upgraded a lot of stuff. We upgraded the plumbing in the bathroom. We upgraded the countertops. We added in a towel rack on the glass door. We made the glass door thicker. All in all, I think it was in just August alone, I forget the number, but it was between 15 and 20 new leads just for bathroom remodels alone, because of that promotional offer.
Wow.
Because of that, yeah. And it probably, all in all, I think it ended up costing him potentially $1,000 to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But out of all those leads that come in, each bathroom is like $15,000.
Yeah, make it right back.
Yeah, make it right back, and he's got good margins. He's not and guys, this is not if your margins on a job is 5%, this is probably not going to work too well, because you're actually going to be underwater. But if you're making good margins, 40-50%, which for some people seems like a lot, but it's especially if you can upsell, it's actually not that big of a deal to give away $1,000 worth of stuff, when in reality, it costs the contractor $1,000, but the homeowner, it's worth $5,000, because that's really what it would be sold for.
Yeah, I know you said you shouldn't be too worried about your bottom line to I can't do deals.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very important you should know your bottom line so you don't go bankrupt on it.
Yes, that's 100% true. So don't go in and say, well, it's going to cost me $20,000 and I'm going to charge $15,000, but I'm going to make it up on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
You still should, with my dad, I didn't say, hey man, do this for less than cost. I was saying, hey man, do this at cost plus a little bit more to try to upsell your way in there. And if you end up, not upselling any of it, well, at least it was a Saturday when the guys weren't working anyway, and you at least cover your day's overhead of the static stuff, or the fixed overhead, which is your cell phone, your truck payment, all that stuff that's still, even on a Saturday when nobody's working, you still got to pay. So at least cover that.
On. Yeah.
Exactly. So at least cover that. So that's all we're saying with the promotional offer stuff, is just, test it, figure out what works for you. You don't always have to jump to money off. You can add stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
Totally do that. That's super cool. But all you're trying to do is at first you're trying to incentivize the very first aspect, which is the phone call or the lead. People don't want to get sold to, so trust me, you're going to have to do something to get them off their butt and want to actually talk about putting in a very expensive room in their house or landscape or something in the backyard. So it really does help when you can incentivize them in some manner.
Oh yeah, everybody likes a deal.
Everybody likes a deal. Literally, like cheap people, rich people, everybody wants a deal.
I'd even say rich people are the worst when it comes to wanting a deal.
That's what a lot of times it seems like it.
Which, not a bad thing to do, keep asking for a deal. So
yeah. Cool. So guys, if this made any sense to you, do us a favor. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. This stuff really helps us out. We actually talk about in that Contractor Growth Network Blueprint program, which is, if you want to check it out, we talk about promotional offers, how to do it, how to set it up, because realistically, like what that Hyundai dealership does is that's actually something that we will teach and we actually implement. So we'll walk you through how to do that. If you want to learn more about the program, go to contractorgrowthnetwork.com. We're still pre-selling it, so right now you still get a pretty big discount depending on when you actually listen to this thing. So, it'll actually like help you out big time, because all you got to do is, you sell one job from learning the stuff that we teach you, and it pays for 5 years worth of it.
Yeah, it's super worth it, guys. Don't wait.
Yeah, cool. So, guys, really appreciate it. Hope all this stuff helps. You're not trying to break the bank on this stuff. All you're trying to do is just sacrifice a little bit on the front end to make it big in the back end. Cool?
Cool.
Cool. Thank you.